Welcome to this BEC podcast. My name is Rasmus Beck and welcome to this edition. And I'm very, very happy to welcome two different nationalities, two different women who's in the top of the European badminton, Isabel Herttrich from Germany and Lauren Smith from England. Thank you very much for joining me. First of all, ladies, how is it to be you at the moment? Lauren, let's start with you.
How is it to be me?
Yeah.
I've not been asked that before.
That's the first thing for everything.
Yeah, no, it's good. Everything is going well at the minute. Just very busy with lots of tournaments, but that is always the way. And I'm just enjoying being in Europe for once.
Yeah, you're traveling a lot, Isabel.
Yeah.
How are you?
Same for me. Yeah, a lot of tournaments lately, and 3 more to go. Then there's a little break.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I also enjoy the Europe tour, of course, because close to home, and that's cool.
Yeah, of course, as a badminton player, you travel the world, you see the spot that a lot of us will never see. How is the difference between Asia and Europe, Lauren?
I think in Europe it's just a lot more convenient for us to find things that we are maybe used to, maybe foods, for example. A lot of people, for me, speak English, which is great. And just, the convenience and the ease of things, whereas in Asia, a lot of the time the food is quite different. We've been a lot now, so we maybe recognise it, but there's a few things like that, and then their customs are just quite different to ours in Europe, and so it's just something you have to factor in when you go over there, is that you maybe have to be a little bit more patient or tolerant or accepting of the differences. But it's also nice to be over there and experience other cultures.
Is it easier, Isabel, to play in Europe that it might seem similar to home?
Yeah, I think so. Also, you have no jet lag at all when you start here, but yeah, as Lauren said, it's more convenient. You're used to it, and you traveled a lot here. I don't know which, I've been here for 5-6 years. I don't know, to Asia, the venues sometimes are new. China, that's always a different hall, so it's always quite new. And here you're very used to.
Yeah, we're doing this recording at the Denmark Open, French Open coming soon. Also Germany, Saarlouis Open, former Bitburger, also coming up very soon. Same venues, same cities, same hotels. Does that make you feel like home, or is that too much to put it?
I think it does feel quite homely. I think having that familiarity with places is important. I think it's good to be in a nice, relaxed mindset and know that you can get things that you need and stay in a comfortable hotel or, for example, an Airbnb. If you've already been there, you know that you're going to something and you know what to expect, whereas the unknown can maybe cause, without even realising, a slight stress or slight sort of discomfort that may affect you playing. So being in these sort of places, especially with the halls and the conditions, I think gives us an advantage.
When I was looking at who would I like to invite to a podcast studio this time, I was looking at the results from 2018, and you girls have one thing, or ladies, has one thing in common. You were both on the podium in Huelva, right next to each other as bronze medalists. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you were.
That point when you entered that tournament, you performed quite well, both of you, and claimed that medal in Spain this year. Isabel, how was that for you? And
Yeah, it was great, of course. It was our first medal. I've never been on the podium before. So yeah, it was just fine. We played a very good tournament, and had a close quarterfinals, but with a tense ending, but good for us. And also our semifinals were quite good. A little unlucky in the end, but not enough. Yeah, but yeah, it was great, and we want to build up there and get more of it.
Are you still proud of that medal, Lauren?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a European medal is one of those ones that you'll remember after your career. There's milestone events, and then you have your Worlds, your Olympics, but Europeans, Commonwealths for us English, and it's the ones you look back and say, well, I've achieved a medal on that stage, and it feels really good, and it's a really enjoyable sort of moment.
You're both playing two categories. Let's talk a bit about the mixed. That's where you right now are performing the best. Isabel, how do you see the European level in mixed doubles?
It's quite good. I think it's the best discipline for the Europeans to enter the top stages, and there are a lot European mixed who compete very good in the world, and so I think it's quite good.
Lauren, when we look at it, the Danes are normally on top. or in the top. Right now we have Chris and Gabby on top as the European champion, but we also see the Germans actually pulling off a quite good job. Are you surprised to see, for instance, Isabel and Mark Lamfus now reaching the top level?
I think it'd be rude to say I was surprised, wouldn't it?
No, nothing rude. Honestly,
wait, now you can tell.
Yeah. No, not at all. I think I always believe the Germans have been very good at finding a way to win, no matter what they're against, and also using their strengths to their best, knowing what makes them a good player and taking that onto court. And so I think in mixed, because it is so tactical and because it is a very sort of, it's like a game of chess really, isn't it, especially the first three sort of things, to know what makes you good and to use that well on court is a huge importance. So I think that's why they have so many strong pairs.
Isabel, then looking at the other direction, looking at the Danes and at the English, is it like you hope to meet the English and the Danish players late when you, for instance, see a European Championship draw, or doesn't it matter at all?
Yeah, of course they have good pairs, so yeah, it's good to meet them very late. But yeah, also the Dutch and the French have good pairs, so there's a lot around Europe who, yeah, I'm not afraid of, but who I respect really, and so yeah, there are a lot of good pairs. But yeah, I think with our changing in the centers, and we train mixed together now, boys and girls, in one city, in one hall. So yeah, I think we could close this gap a little and get a little closer to the upper pairs.
But also looking at the results also for the European circuit, it seems like there's a lot of pairs moving up at the moment. We have the Dutch, as you say, we have some young French players, we have some young Danish players, some young English players as well. What do you predict for the future of European mixed doubles?
I think it's hard to say because obviously, as well as strength in Europe, there is strength in Asia. You know, you have a lot of young, strong Asians coming through, but success does breed success, and strength over here and depth over here can only be positive for the future, I believe. And I think because we can have a lot of depth here, it means that for example, the challenge tournaments will be stronger, which will be good for the juniors coming through because they will maybe learn a little bit quicker. And a few things like that, will really help kind of develop players that little bit quicker. And then to also make sure they're having the experience of playing top-level players. For example, if you have someone coming through that played Chris and Gabby, for example, in a tournament like this, they're going to learn quite a lot very quickly. So the depth and the amount of players is definitely in our favour moving forward.
Isabel, looking at it from a European perspective, what do the European pairs need to do to compete with the Asians? Because looking at the podiums, there are a lot of Asian pairs, and we, of course, would like to see more Europeans.
Yeah, as Lauren also said, it's quite tactical, and I think that's it's an advantage for us Europeans. I think we're a little better there, but yeah, I think where the Asians are very strong is this, they're physical, very tough and very, very strong. So yeah, we have to be a little bit more ready in this part maybe, and then I think we can get this chess game on.
How do you see physically? Of course, that's something you can do, as you say, Isabel. What about the tactical part? Are you as strong as the Asian there from a European point of view?
I believe tactically Europeans are probably superior. I think most of the time in games you look at Europeans against Asians and maybe it is more of a physical thing. Sometimes I do believe the Asians have not more belief but more kind of authority in themselves on court, and they kind of dominate the game, they control the momentum very well. So that's something that Europeans can definitely learn and use to compete kind of back against them. But I'd say like tactically, if you look at how Europeans play, often pairs have different styles and different ways against different people, whereas a lot of the Asian pairs, I am generalising strongly, a lot of have kind of that one style, their A game, and they just kind of have the acceptance that, okay, this is our A game, if it works we will win, if it doesn't work we will lose, whereas for a European we have A, B, C, and we will try all of them if we need to.
Do you agree on that as well?
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds quite right for me. Yeah, I think we are more. Yeah, I think I can adopt more, or we can change our plans maybe a little easier than the Asians do. But I don't know. Maybe they didn't have to change their plans that often. I think we're more used to that. So maybe we can do that a little better. Yeah.
One of the questions we get when we speak to our fans of Badminton Europe, who is also your fans, of course, is that how is it to play two categories? How do you handle two categories? Now I have two ladies who's actually playing two categories, so now I can actually put that question to you. Lauren, how is it to play two categories?
It can be hard. It's definitely, from having just played one category for a few years, it was probably a bit easier. But at the same time, I do believe that playing both develops different parts of your game. So for example, for playing mixed, I started maybe only about 18 months ago, and I believe that since then my defence and net play has improved, because that was an area of the game that I neglected, just playing women's doubles. The change in between games can be hard, but also I think the scheduling is probably one of the hardest things. Perhaps at slightly lower level tournaments where you could have multiple rounds in a day, you know, you could play 4 games in a day. You could even just play 2 games in a day, but at a high level that could be 2 hours on court, if not a little bit more. So I think it is difficult from a physical point of view, and maybe making sure to switch tactically between the two, especially for me in the first 3, I think, in the beginning of the rallies. But it's something you get used to. You have to develop your own strategies to cope with that, whether it's having a nap between games or having watching some video or whatever it is that will make you kind of reset for the separate event.
Isabel, you've just been in a situation where your now former partner retired, Carla Nelson. You were in to choose if you should, I suppose, should go for 1 category or 2 categories. What were the thoughts around going for 2 categories? Now you're also playing within the EFLA.
Yes, right. Yeah. For me, it was just, I like playing both. I have fun playing both events. They're, quite different, but I like both. And so I decided to start a new partnership with Linda. I think she's also on a good level, so we have to develop a little, but I'm ready for that. And as you said, Carla retired for me quite surprisingly, so you need to have a partner, and if one gets out, then you are alone, and so I like that I have 2 disciplines.
But is it like you prefer to play 1 category? Of course, if your partner sees this, it can be an unfair answer. But there will always be one that you prefer, I suppose, or what?
I wouldn't say that. No? Of course, in mixed, the results are a little better, but I always enjoyed playing with Carla, and I also enjoyed playing with Linda now. It's only 3 games, 4 games, but I think it's just quite different. It's quite different, but it's both very, I have fun. I enjoy it both, and so I wouldn't choose one.
What do you thoughts around it, Lauren?
I think, like Isabel says, I enjoy both. They have different challenges for me. You know, I'd say if people really had to box me into one category or another, you know, a lot of people would have said women's doubles. And so for a long time, I really focused on that. Didn't really play a lot of mixed. But coming into mixed, for me, it was just kind of something different. It was kind of, the women's had a little bit more pressure on it because of the expectation and just having played for so long. And the mixed gave it me a new focus and something else to work on, which, like I said, has positively affected my women's. And I think it's just important for me to hold on to that. And you know, I play on court with 2 people that are very strong fighters, and you know, I want to be on court beside them, and I want to be part of those battles in both sort of senses of mixed and women's. And I think the challenges are different. It also gives you 2 opportunities to play a game. You know, you could fly to Asia and have tough draws and play 1 game if you're only playing 1 event. Now we get at least 2, you know, which is maybe a negative way to look at it, but it does kind of add to your kind of weaponry a little bit, and that you've had more experience, you've had more court time, and just that enjoyment side of things.
We are at the end of 2018 now, 2019 coming up quite soon, Olympic qualification year coming up. What are your thoughts around this upcoming qualification? You might be in different position in this.
I'm looking forward to it. So it's gonna be a tough year. It already is. There are a lot of tournaments. It feels like it almost started. But with Linda, we will see in which position we are in May, if it makes sense to really start the qualification. But I think we'll earn enough points to be in a good position to start the qualification as well as in mixed. And yeah, let's see what it brings.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it.
You're ready for it. That's good too.
Let's see.
Lauren, you are in this position that needs to be 2 pair in top 4 for a nation to qualify 2 mixed doubles.
Yeah.
Chris and Gabby, European champions, ranked higher than you and Marcus. How is it to enter qualification knowing that you have to maybe beat your countrymen in that qualification period to get that ticket?
Well, I think it comes down to, again, obviously Marcus and I both have our other events, so we can have a little bit of a focus on that, and the mixed is kind of, we're going to go out there and give it our all, and I guess it would be a bonus if we did. We've come a long way in about 18 months of playing, and I still feel like there's a lot of ways that we can develop. I don't think we've reached our peak. Obviously, I think having competition within your own training group can be sometimes difficult, but we, every day we step on court together, we all know that we're not here to beat each other. We're here to beat the rest of the world. If we end up ranked 1 and 2 in the world, all right, then we'll try and beat each other. At that point. But until then, we've got greater aims than just competing with one another. So I think obviously it will be difficult for Marcus and I to get ahead of Chris and Gabby. They've been very solid in their high ranking, and they're very consistent and performing well. But it's not out of the question that we can either get in the top 8 or get ahead of them. It's certainly something that we're going to give our all. And like I say, we've both got men's and women's doubles to go for as well.
Tokyo 2020, that's one thing. I will still put you in the group of younger players. Paris, you're welcome. Paris 2024, is it something that you are thinking about, or is that just too far in the future?
For me, it's too far.
Way too far.
Yeah. I'll see what happens in 2020 and then decide what's going to happen. I don't know yet. No.
Yeah, I think similar. It's very far ahead with everything that's happened with our funding in England. The situation is quite different to what it was a few years ago. So I'll have to kind of review after 2020 how I feel, where I'm at. There is a Commonwealth Games in England in 2022. Obviously your home games would be incredible, so that would probably be my focus after 2020 if I decide to continue, and then again review beyond there. So can't say it's too far ahead.
But
we're not that young.
You're not that young. That's on you. That's on you, Isabel. That's on you. That's not on me. Definitely not on me. Another multi-sport event that's coming up in the near future, where you will definitely be old or young enough. That's the European Games next year, 2019. You were on the podium in Huelva for the European Championships. Would we also see you in the podium in Minsk in June in 2019 for the European Games?
Hope so.
Hopefully, yeah. But yeah, also this qualification is quite close. Also,
is it something that you're looking at actually, the European Games qualification?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the European Games are in the Olympic qualification year, so it's quite it would be good to be there. We have Marvin and Linda very close to us. Also, Linda and me just started now. It's quite late for this. So yeah. See if we'll be there, and then maybe on the podium,
Let's hope for that. Ladies, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching this BEC podcast. Remember to follow us on social media, and also follow you guys, because you're actually doing a very good job on social media, both of you.
Thank you.
So please go follow Lauren Smith and Isabel Herttrich, especially on Instagram. They're quite good at Instagram. So thank you for stopping by, and stay tuned for another BEC podcast recording.